Namaste and good morning dear students. Welcome back after a long time again to Metro PABSON's long distance training program. I am Radha Joshi and I am going to teach grade 9 students unit 4. So, I hope that you enjoyed this short period. Anyways, I just want to ask you that have you gone through the chapters? If yes, then well done. So, let us continue with unit 4 of grade 9 textbook. As you can see on the slide, we are going to learn about expressing condolence and sympathy. Well, you may ask, what does condolence mean or what is a sympathy? Well, there are different ways to express sympathy and condolence. One thing you must understand dear students, that you can express sympathy when you break your hands or have an accident, but you only express condolence on someone's death. So, let us have a look at the definition of condolence, or why is condolence given. Okay? So, first normally a condolence is given or written to express an expression of sympathy to someone who is experiencing pain arising from the death of a relative, friend, colleagues, etc. Normally, obituaries, please see this word everyone, obituaries. Obituaries is another word used for condolence. So, normally obituaries or condolence are expressed by two means or in two ways: by publishing the message in a newspaper or magazine, which is also known as a formal message of condolence, and in the form of a letter. We normally write a sympathy letter, or we call it in the question write a letter of sympathy. So, remember dear students, the question, this is very important question. Condolence writing is a very important question for grade 9 students. It carries around 5 to 6 marks, and you have to understand what does message of condolence carry and what does sympathy letter carry. So, we will be doing that in details later, but one you have to remember, first thing is that if it is asked to write to be written on a newspaper and magazine, then it is a formal letter of message of condolence. If you are asked to write a letter, then it is a sympathy letter. So, there is a difference between that we will be learning in details later. So, I hope that you understood when is the condolence given. You have understood the difference between sympathy as well as condolence. You can express sympathy on someone's death, and you have to express condolence when, but you cannot express condolence in an accident, because that person is still alive. So, it would look very funny if you give, like if you say my condolences to you, okay, because he is still alive. So, condolences are given to people or to the relatives of the demised, of the person who is dead. Okay. So, I hope you understood this much. Let us move on to the next part of this lesson. So, before starting the lesson, let us understand some difficult words that you may have difficulty in deciphering the meaning while going through the text. So, let us have a look. The first word is premature. I think you have already guessed the meaning because of the word mature. So, premature means happening before the normal or expected time. For example, if you ask me to frame a sentence, I would say she has given birth to a premature baby. That means she has given birth before the 9 months period that a baby takes to become fully grown. So, premature means happening before the normal or expected time. The second word is demise, which is a very good word, which is a substitute word for death. Then heartfelt. Okay, this is a very important and compulsory word for writing a condolence. Showing strong feelings that are sincere, like I am heartfelt, I express my heartfelt condolences. When you are sorry, you should be very sincere. So, it is a heartfelt apology. So, heartfelt means again showing strong feelings that are very sincere. Colleagues, okay, people working together. You may say that the teachers that I work with are my colleagues. You cannot call your friends colleagues, but because you are still students, you are not working together. So, colleagues are people who work together. So, colleagues could be friends, but remember your classmates are not your colleagues. So, once again colleagues are people who work together. And then the next word is irreparable. Please look at the spelling also, everyone. There is not an I before an R, okay? It is irreparable. So, irreparable means something that cannot be mended or repaired. Like normally in a condolence, you have to write, I am very sorry, I am grieved at the irreparable loss. That means a loss that cannot be taken back or that cannot be repaired. Then hemorrhage is another word that you will see in this text. So, hemorrhage means an escape of blood from a ruptured blood vessel. Normally hemorrhage word is associated with the brain. So, sometimes the cells of the brain get ruptured and blood comes out. So, that person normally dies of a brain hemorrhage. Okay? So, I hope dear students you have understood the meanings of these words. So, let us move on with the text. Okay, this is what you will be seeing in your textbook. This is condolence, a form of formal message of condolence. While teaching, please understand where the letters are blackened, where they are emboldened. Please see those words. Okay. So, a condolence, this is the text, we will go through the text. On top, if you see, condolence is written. You can make it in a curve also, or you can write it straight as it is, which is followed by a picture or a photo of that person who has died. Later you have to write late Bir Bikram Shahi. Here in this text, late Bir Bahadur Shahi has died. So, his name is there. Please understand students, a person who has died, we have to write the word late before that person's name. So, here we are writing late Bir Bahadur Shahi. So, you have understood probably that who has died in the text is Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi. So, let us move on with the text. We are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden, premature and untimely demise of Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi, an English teacher at Patan Secondary School, Lalitpur. Late Shahi suffered a massive brain hemorrhage. He was helpful as well as popular among the students and his colleagues. We extend our heartfelt condolence to his bereaved family and friends grieving the irreparable loss. May the departed soul be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. Grade 9 or class 9 students, Patan Secondary School, Lalitpur. So, this is the text, this is what the text is all about. Let us learn it in detail. As I have already told you, Bir Bahadur Shahi has died. So, you have to insert the word late before the name. We are deeply saddened. Remember the word, the beginning word of a message of a condolence. We are deeply saddened. You can substitute saddened with grieved also. So, we are deeply saddened to learn about the sudden, premature and untimely demise. These three words come together: sudden, premature, untimely. Okay, you have to say his sudden death has made us made the students of grade 9 grieved or very unhappy, very sad. Premature, we have already learnt the meaning of this, before time, and untimely, of course, that also says before time. So, here who has died, dear students? Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi. So, the students of grade 9 are very sad seeing his sudden, premature and untimely demise. So, then you have to write the letter in bold. I am side by side, while going through the text, I am side by side telling you how to frame a good condolence, where you have to frame the letter in black, where you have to bolden the letters, where you have to make them more bold and black. So, Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi, again the name comes. Okay. So, late Bir Bahadur Shahi at the just below the picture. Later we are deeply saddened, and you have to say untimely, premature death. Again Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi, as in the text it is an example of condolence message, formal condolence message. So, you have to write the name again in black. An English teacher. So, what was he working as? He was an English teacher like me, and he worked at PABSON Secondary School. So, you have to be clear, where did he work? He worked at PABSON Secondary School, which is situated at Lalitpur. Late Shahi suffered a massive brain hemorrhage. Just now we had already learned that he had suffered, means he died of massive brain hemorrhage. So, once again students, do you remember the meaning of hemorrhage that we did just a few minutes back? Yes, that is correct. It is massive brain hemorrhage, or hemorrhage is the rupture of cells of the brain. Good. That is a very great attention that you are paying towards me. And he was helpful as well as popular among the students. Of course, how was Bir Bahadur Shahi's nature? He was very helpful and he was very much popular among his students as well as his colleagues. That means his colleagues, his friends at work as well as students that he used to teach, they were very pleased with his personality. He was very popular among the students as well as colleagues. We extend our heartfelt condolences to his bereaved family and friends grieving the irreparable loss. So, meanings of some words we have done. Now you have to write, while making a message of, while writing a message of condolence, you have to extend your sincere heartfelt feelings after someone's death. You have to show that you are really sad on that person's death. So, we extend our heartfelt condolence to his bereaved family. So, a person who has got a loss, a person or a family who is suffering from a loss is bereaved. Is very sad. So, bereaved is being sad to a very large extent. So, once again bereaved is something, or you are feeling sad at a very huge extent. So, we express our heartfelt condolence to his bereaved family and friends grieving this irreparable loss. So, this loss is irreparable. Of course, it is a known fact that you cannot bring a dead person back to life. So, this loss is irreparable. So, Bir Bahadur Shahi was very helpful as well as famous among his colleagues and students has died. This loss is irreparable for the family. May the departed soul be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. So, at last, in any message of condolence, the condolence ends with, the message ends with what should I say, praying. You pray to the heavenly Father to keep the body or the dead soul in peace. So, may the departed soul be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. So, normally we write this at the end of the message of a formal message of condolence. So, once again you can end it, or you can write another word as may the departed soul be at rest, at peace in heaven. That is also a good choice of words, or may the departed soul be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. So, while going through the text, I was also hinting you how to write a good message of condolence too. Once again, please have a look where the letters are in bold. So, late Bir Bahadur Shahi is in bold, again Mr. Bir Bahadur Shahi is in bold. Condolence, of course, at the beginning is in bold. You can substitute the word condolence with obituary also. At last, you have to write who has published this message of condolence. So, it is of course his dear students of grade 9 of PABSON Secondary School. So, once again going through the text, I would ask a simple questions. I know you would be instant in answering my questions, like who has died in the text? That is correct, late Bir Bahadur Shahi, or Bir Bahadur Shahi has died. What did he die of? Of course, he died of a massive brain hemorrhage. Who will receive this message of condolence, or of course, it is published in a newspaper, but who will be seeing this is his relatives and friends. And at last, the message of condolence always starts with we are deeply saddened, we are deeply grieved, and ends with may the departed soul be at eternal peace with our heavenly Father. And who have given or published this, or who have written this message of condolence are the grade 9 students of PABSON Secondary School. So, I hope dear students you have understood this passage. Let us move on to some of the exercises, simple exercises that I have prepared for you to make us learn the lesson in a better way. So, let us do a simple match the following first. There are two columns, as you can see, column A as well as column B. So, normally in your exams too, column B will normally have one or two extra words which are there. I have also prepared the same way for you. So, the first word is premature. I know many of you are shouting at their own homes. We have already learnt it in our vocabs ways with words. So, premature of course means before time. That is great. I think you are enjoying my teaching because I am really enjoying teaching you all. So, next is extend. Of course, I think most of you are giving me the correct answer, to offer or give something to somebody. Then comes suffer. Can you guess the meaning? There are still 4 left. Okay. Before time, is it? No. So, we have already done premature as before time. So, suffer is to become worse. Okay, that is great. Then condolence would be feelings after someone's death. And the last word here is heartfelt. So, we have already done it in the beginning of the class when I told you that we would be seeing some difficult words that you will be seeing while going through the text. So, heartfelt would be very sincere and strong feelings. So, once again, premature means before time. I hope that you are taking the screenshots of this slide, because this will really help you in understanding and deciphering the text. So, once again, premature, before time; extend, to offer or give something to somebody; then suffer, to become worse; condolence, feelings after someone's death; heartfelt, very sincere or strong feelings. Great. So, I think that we have understood the meanings of some difficult words. Now, for you all, I have just framed some simple choose the correct answer ones. So, let us see the slides again. You will be, I hope that you are enjoying the class while doing this question answers too. So, Bir Bahadur was an, there are 3 options which are teacher, English teacher, expert. So, when you see the word an, of course, you know that it is followed by a vowel sound. So, teacher is obviously the wrong answer. So, though he was a teacher, but I have kept an over there. So, you have to be careful, either it should be an English teacher or an expert. So, expert is out of the question here according to the text. So, the best answer over here is, or the appropriate answer I should say, is English teacher. So, this was a very simple sentence that I had given you, but while understanding or while attempting from your unseen text, please see the articles that are before the blank. Okay. So, when there is an, of course, obviously 2 answers would have been correct, that would be English teacher and expert, and according to the text we know that he was an English teacher. Now, Bir Bahadur worked at, there are 3 options which are going to confuse you: Patan Darbar High School, Patan Multiple Campus or Patan Secondary School. So, obviously, you have already understood that the answer obviously is Patan Secondary School. Okay. Patan Multiple Campus is out of the question, Patan Darbar High School is also out of the question. I hope that they are very simple questions that you did not find any difficulty in attempting. Then the next one, the school staff were grieved on hearing Shahi's dash death. So, untimely death, was it a timely death or was it an accidental death? Untimely, timely and accidental, these are the 3 options that are there for you. So, of course, he was not in an accident. So, it was not an accidental death. Normally, I have already told you that you have to write the word untimely in your message of condolence. So, the obviously or the best answer here becomes untimely. So, let us do it in a swift way. Bir Bahadur was an English teacher. Bir Bahadur worked at Patan Secondary School. the school staff were grieved on hearing Shahi's untimely death. So, I hope that you have understood this lesson, and then we have come to the concluding part, that is, let us wrap up. Okay. So, let us wrap up with some simple questions. I hope that you have deciphered, understood this lesson with me, because I am really very glad to teach you all. So, answer the following questions. There are 3 simple questions that I have framed for you. First one, what was the cause of Bir Bahadur's death? I have given the answer sample there, because when I am checking as your examiner or as your teacher who checks your examination paper, I have seen many people, many students writing it in a not so good way, like they normally write Bir Bahadur's, the cause of Bir Bahadur's death was brain hemorrhage. Well, that is not so appropriate in framing the answer. What you could be saying is Bir Bahadur died of will be a better of answer, because remember your grade, you are not in grade 4, you are in grade 9. So, your framing of answers should also be very good. So, Bir Bahadur died of course, the answer is massive brain hemorrhage. Okay. So, I hope that you will understand this question's answer, how to frame this answer when this question comes in your exam paper. Now, let us move on to the second question. Who have sent the message of condolence? So, the message of condolence, the person or the institution or the organization who sends this message of condolence is always published or written in typed at the end. So, if you go through the text, you will see that the message of condolence was given by class 9 students. So, who have published the message of condolence? The students of class 9 have sent the message of condolence. What I say, be specific in your answer. The students of class 9 of Patan Secondary School have sent the message of condolence. Okay. So, be specific, add of Patan Secondary School, that would be much better, because there are some teachers who are very orthodox in checking. They would say there are so many class 9 students, from where, okay, which class 9 students, okay, have written this. So, you have to be specific sometimes. So, it would be better to be specific. So, the students of class 9 of Patan Secondary School have sent the message of condolence. Now, the last question that is remaining is, who is the message of condolence for? So, of course, Bir Bahadur Shah is not going to get this. So, who is going to get this is, the message of condolence is for the relatives and friends of Mr. Bir Bahadur Sahib. Okay. So, I hope that you have understood this lesson. I really enjoyed teaching you, and I really hope tomorrow what we will be doing is, we will be knowing the ways in which you can write a good message of condolence, as well as we would be continuing with a letter of sympathy which is in your text. I hope that you enjoyed learning with me, because I really love teaching and love teaching smart students like you too. And I would really like Metro PABSON's long distance training program to enhance and enable the students to read and learn even by staying at home. So, with this note, I really want to say thank you everyone. So, let us meet again tomorrow. So, that is it for today. So, let us wrap up the class. Thank you all.